of this. It's funny to have people that are so well honed at doing bits to be in a position where they can't.
If my players want to earn points, they will have to be as sincere as possible.
Earnestest, which was before that, One More Time with Feeling, was an idea that we came up with in the room, loosely based on a pitch we got from Karen Hahn, which was called Socially Anxious Olympics. We ultimately felt that maybe that was like just cringy enough that it wouldn't necessarily yield the funniest results. We honed in on this idea of earnestness as the leaping off point for an episode. This was difficult to write challenges for, partially because we didn't want folks merely to do something that would be embarrassing. Let's see, rejected challenges. Describe in detail your last bowel movement. Call a friend and ask them to come to the dentist with you because you're nervous. Give us a tour of your car's glove compartment. Tell us how much money you have. Read aloud some erotic dropout fan fiction. Say what dropout means to you.
Only gums.
Wow. That's the cover of the album that you're releasing together?
Only
It's an
gums.
album of poetry, yeah.
This, of any episode in the season, was cast so well for the premise, I thought.
It's just fun to watch because you can see behind their eyes the opportunities that they're not taking comedically that they wish they could.
An episode like this is going to feel funniest only if you have 3 Bugs Bunnies or are just known for their relentless bittiness. Beardsley Oyama, of course, and then the real outlier here, someone who I adore, who I don't get to work with all the time just because she's so busy, is Lisa Gilroy.
She's super committed to being non-committal. She does that meta comedy really well.
Lisa.
Well, the bedroom can get boring, especially if it's been the same kind of thing for a long time.
She can be very subversive towards Sam. She might try to find a way to like weasel out of it through comedy. And she absolutely committed, and it was so incredible. We couldn't have asked for a better cast for that episode. It was just so perfect.
If I could please have the bit-o-meter.
Oh.
No.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
One question that I need to ask myself with every Game Changer episode is like, how am I introducing this game in a way that's going to catch my players by surprise? I liked this notion of setting up the players to believe that some challenges were going to be very bitty and others weren't going to be bitty at all, and then just surprising them with, no, you're going to fall off the sincerity cliff.
Is this original?
This is an original 1956 bit-o-meter.
Oh my God.
Art made that beautiful, I think it was like a modified bureau.
We called it the bit-o-meter, which I think makes sense. This was a beautiful vintage radio cabinet that we gutted to make this.
There are a lot of discussions about what this handle needed to look like, and it eventually landed on this thing that you could like hold like this. There were a lot of tests of getting it to break perfectly.
We worked really hard on the breakaway arm gag and giving it lights and making it seem really legitimate.
Seeing that prop for the first time just took me back to being a kid. It was one of the most like delightful moments in this entire season.
I need that bitometer in my house. I was like, please, I want that. I thought it looked so cool.
The bitometer ended up going home with Ryan. He says that he put it in his office where he and his girlfriend work together, and then they set it to various levels of how open they are to being joked with versus how stressed they are. And it just is a really nice feeling to know that that piece we spent so much time on is going to live on.
I hope this isn't spoiling too much, but I feel like my character really took a huge swing on a rap that actually I feel like came out great.
Okay, I better lose the accent.
No,
if we're trying
love
to go
the
be
accent.
The
earnest,
accent's
though.
so funny.
I think you should do the accent and then be earnest. I love
Okay.
it. It's incredible.
Okay.
Do you feel like you can?
Yeah.
Teo had a pitch here, which I really loved, which was the notion that we would at some point challenge the players to do director's commentary over the episode and then lay that commentary under the entire episode, and you wouldn't know why until we got to the challenge.
Ultimately, we decided that was too complicated, and we just put a little bit of that as a segment of them backstage.
What's up, dipshits? But Santa, it's between April and August, depending on when this airs.
Paul F. Tompkins was so funny. Like, he was just, in the amount of what he was given to do, made so many funny moments.
Anytime you're in an Airbnb with other couples, definitely try to have sex when everybody else is in the kitchen.
Santa was just the role that Paul F. Tompkins was born to play.
Go to church every Sunday?
Yeah.
I don't either.
Whoa.
It's boring. I'm more spiritual than anything else.
Exactly. I can.
Lisa's freestyle rap was so fucking good. I remember it being like, God, I'm having hives at the idea of having to personally do this. And comedically, it was so funny to have two people feel that and do that, because it's like, of course, that's what I would do. But then for Lisa to really like unload one from the chamber was so funny.
I belong in the grave. Yes, you do. Get in there, Sam. I'll kick you with my shoe. Oh.
Her freestyle rap is one of my favorite moments ever on Game Changer. I was laughing so hard at Video Village when that was happening.
Cat in the Hat is your freestyle Sam diss track.
That's you, dog.
You're so Cat in the Hat.
The moment Lisa said, "You're so Cat in the Hat," I went, oh, that is an insult about me. I am so Cat in the Hat. Sam Gear and our family of editors this season are getting really creative about working with this show footage in new and exciting ways. Sam slacked me, would it be possible to get some of your Instagram avatars to play around with? We can't actually use the Instagram ones for proprietary reasons, and so we had to create little lookalikes. And so he thought it would be very funny to essentially reference that in this freestyle rap.
Thank you so much. You're awesome.
Within Dropout's community, the Joker is a bit of a cringe character.
It is a lot.
And to do a good Joker, a convincing Joker, is kind of like a cringe. I loved the idea of dressing them up really legitimately and having them do their best version of this.
There was a lot of back and forth on Joker makeup for this one. We could do a Joaquin Phoenix version, a Heath Ledger version, a Jack Nicholson version. Ultimately, we decided we wanted them all to look the same because that levels the playing field for the challenge.
I'm a huge So You Think You Can Dance fan. We arrived at the title, I Never Said I Could Dance, I think last season, and we're considering it as its own episode this year. We grappled with various ideas for that episode and always came up against music licensing as the issue that would stop us from doing it. There was the notion of maybe we have players dance to silly tracks that we could license or create ourselves. But by the time we visualized bad dancing to bad music, we were like, oh, this will just be bad. We could probably afford to license one song. I think it was Ryan who pitched Kiss from a Rose. The perfect song to try to dance to sincerely.
That was good. That was good. Okay.
The moment that we heard that name, we were like, yes, it's Kiss from a Rose. We'll make it happen. Turns out it just takes a long time to license a song. It's a lot of slow conversations back and forth. They wanted a complete synopsis of the show and how the song was going to be used in the episode. It can't be over 1 minute. There's strict rules. Sam mentions that playing the song twice in one episode costs the same as playing it once. That's not true. It costs exactly double.
I was crying watching the monitors backstage.
Amy! Oh my God! Amy, thank you so much for being here.
So happy to be here.
Oscar gifted me a dance lesson with Amy. Amy also choreographed the trailer we did with Just Me at the beginning of the season. She did such a brilliant job with this choreography. We went back and forth a lot on how challenging should this choreography be, because we wanted to create something that felt legitimate at the same time as we didn't want our players to just objectively fail. We had set aside something like an hour for rehearsal, but in reality, I think we only gave them like a half hour because the day was running long. We were all super impressed with how our performers did at that dance.
Kevin Stiller, our DP, and I had some preliminary discussions about how we would shoot a So You Think You Can Dance type show using a Steadicam. We did shoot the dance 3 times on the day just so we could really cover it. It was absolutely worth that extra effort, and I appreciate the stamina of our players.
Everything I had learned from their rehearsal, I would probably only have 2, maybe 3 attempts and ask them to do it once more for camera. There was not a single thing about it that we pre-planned. I knew I just had to watch and learn.
We also worked with a lighting designer to choreograph lighting cues for the whole dance routine, which ended up being really fun. Amy did just such an amazing job choreographing the dance routine.
You 3 come together on your tell that your roses in bloom. Oh my, it's the moon. Just come like center. And then Sam, you're gonna be last. We're like on the.
This notion of dancing as the Joker to Kiss from a Rose, which I recognize was the song from Batman Forever. That was purely an accident.
You are watching people very earnestly like take direction from a woman who is looking at 3 Jokers in the face, teaching them how to dance. I'd be looking at my computer and like nothing is weird right now, and then I'd look up and be reminded how insane it was.
How sort of open-minded do you have to be to just throw yourself into something like that? To just ride the Game Changer ride that way? We really were towing that line there between wanting players to address something sincerely and also wanting the episode to be at all funny. I give my players a huge amount of credit